Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mike from Sick Psyche. Will and I are down here in my basement fish room today, and we're gonna make some changes to bring in one of the most rare cichlids we could find. So starting, we're gonna go over here to my 75-gallon Red Tiger Motor grow out tank. We're gonna get those, there's about 10 1-inch Red Tiger Motas in there. We're gonna get them moved over here to this 60-gallon, and then we're gonna get the rare fish that I talked about moved into this 75. Then we're gonna head over here to my 75-gallon Red Terror tank, and we're gonna re-scape it because she has absolutely destroyed that tank. So we're gonna re-scape it, give it a little bit more openness now that both these fish are large, and give them some space to possibly breed. Then we'll head upstairs to check out the 125-gallon African tank in my military room, which has also undergone some pretty big changes thanks to Will and the changes he's got going on over at his house.
And as Mike said, got some changes going on at my house. We're gonna take my 150-gallon Hap and Peacock tank. We're gonna get rid of it, move some of the best looking fish over here to Mike's house because, as you know, his 210 Haps and Peacock tank is simply immaculate. So what they're gonna do for me is allow that 150-gallon tank, give us more options on things we can do better for the fish tanks. And we're thinking about Parachroma's tank, maybe an aggressive cichlid tank, or if y'all have any good ideas, drop them in the comments, and you never know, we may pick that choice. I also have two 75-gallon tanks that I'm setting up, video to come soon. So let's get to it.
So Will and I got into this hobby about 2.5 years ago, and both were immediately drawn to cichlids of all kinds. From your less aggressive cichlids like these Severums and Geophagus, to the less common like the Mesoherocernatus and Black Nasty, or maybe colorful free swimmers like peacocks and haps. We both wanted to absorb as much knowledge as possible, and both suffered terribly from multiple tank syndrome. We talk fish almost daily, coming up with new ideas for aquariums and about cichlids to be on the lookout for. If you saw our last video, 5 must-see local fish stores, then you know that we both travel a ton. And whenever we are, we're looking for fish that are normally hard to find. And when trying to find a specific fish in a local fish store doesn't work, we both turn to places like Imperial Tropicals or B Cichlid Emporium online. For over a year now, I've been looking for this fish everywhere, and my persistence finally paid off. But the how is very unconventional. I didn't find this fish in either a local fish store or an online retailer. It was through Google that I found a forum called monsterfishkeepers.com. It was there that I found a breeder that had exactly what I was looking for, the Maiajeros beanie, or green guapote cichlid. But it was November, and the breeder does his best to guarantee live delivery, so he doesn't ship during the winter. So I waited, and last month, reached back out to the breeder who had plenty of cichlids in stock. I ended up purchasing 6, with them set to be delivered on a Tuesday at a time that I knew I'd be home. Unfortunately, I had a last-minute trip pop up for work, so I wasn't able to receive the fish myself, but my brother-in-law knows the process and safely received the fish, placing them into this 60-gallon aquarium. As soon as I got back home from travel and went into the basement fish room, I knew that I was going to spend some time reorganizing and redecorating some tanks. I talked about my plan to swap the 10 Red Tiger Mota babies in the 75-gallon with the 6 new beanies, and because my female Red Terror wanted to destroy its tank, figured it'd be an ideal time to rearrange some decor. Will is also undergoing some big changes as he's decided to break down his 150-gallon Peacock and Hap tank to make room for some large and more aggressive cichlids that he's had all around his house. But before rehoming all of his Africans, we picked about 9 to put my 125-gallon in the military room. We've got plans for this aquarium in the near future, and if you want to hear more about those, stick around at the end of the video where we walk through each aquarium in my house. Now back to the work. We started by draining this 60 gallons water directly into a 5-gallon styrofoam cooler. Once full, I removed all 6 beanies from the aquarium, placing them directly into the cooler. Then we moved over to the 75-gallon Red Tiger Mota grow-out tank. Using a python, I vacuumed the substrate as thoroughly as I possibly could, while also removing all of its current aquascape. And with the tank being completely empty of decor, we'll then fish by fish remove each Red Tiger Mota, putting them directly into the 60-gallon tall quarantine corner. While he was moving the fish, I was removing this large piece of driftwood from the Black Nasty tank to use in the new 75-gallon setup. I've wanted to take it out of Nino's tank for a while to maximize his swim space, and this provided the perfect opportunity. I also decided to take all the rock decor and one of the fake plants from the Red Terror-scape, knowing that I wanted to minimize the decor in that tank as well. Will and I played with the scape a bit, ensuring that we provided enough line of sight breaks in order to minimize aggression. And there are plenty of flat rocks in the aquarium should a pair form sometime in the next 6 months. The fish are still a little camera shy, but I'm hoping as they become a little more trusting as they grow and get more comfortable in their new home, as they really are one of the most beautiful cichlids I've come across. They've got great color as juveniles, but adult males are true showstoppers as they are often the larger and more colorful of the sexes. I couldn't be happier with this aquarium or fish, but please let me know what you think in the comment section below. With the Beanie Cichlid aquarium complete, the last aquarium to tackle for the day was the 75-gallon red terror tank. I'm not sure what happened in the few days that I was gone, and even though my female red terror is known to dig, I've never seen the tank this way. My brother-in-law sent me this video while I was away, concerned about her health. She'd completely moved the plants that were at the center of the aquarium to the far left side and created a mound of sand at the center that almost served as a divider. So I decided that to make for easier maintenance and to maximize the room in the aquarium, I'd minimize the decor significantly. After removing all the decor and re-leveling the substrate, I decided that I'd use one small piece of driftwood on the left side, a fake plant anchored by 2 flat rocks at the center, and one really large flat rock on the right. The plant and driftwood work as line of sight breaks and allow the male the ability to escape her aggression when she gets a little nippy. The flat rock at the right is there to facilitate breeding, if these two decide to ever pair and breed. Funny enough, almost immediately after the re-scape and water change, these two did demonstrate some breeding behavior, which Will was good enough to capture. So let's keep our fingers crossed for future fry. Well, that wraps it all up. Over a year of searching for this fish finally paid off, and with the work that Will and I did to receive these guys and take care of our other fish in the process, couldn't have been more fun. But as I mentioned earlier, stick around for a quick look inside the fish room, where Will and I walk through the house and talk about each aquarium. Hey guys, figured while we're down here, we just give you a quick run through of the fish room, show you all the changes that we've made. Got the Beanie Cichlids over here acclimating, right to their left. So we'll start here with the 75-gallon Trimac aquarium. This guy is growing, he's an absolute monster. And as I've said before in other videos, like if you don't have a Trimac, never had a Trimac, this is a fish that I would highly recommend. It's fun keeping as a wet pet. And if you've got the tank space, 250, 300 gallons to put in with other tank mates, I've seen that work as well. And it is a lot of fun to own. So definitely one of my favorite tanks. Then over here to the right, all the lights are off. So obviously the activity is going to be a little bit different, but this is my 210-gallon South American aquarium. It's got some beautiful geos in there with the Geophagus abelios and the Geophagus redhead tapajos. And then it's got some severums with the red tiger severum, the red spackle severum, the Oscar. It's got a Mesoheros ornatus, and then I finally added the green terror down here. So just looking forward to these fish growing out. It's going to be a lot of fun to continue to watch. And at some point I will change the water movement in here because I think I've got a little too much gallon per hour moving over here. This was the reason that we got down here today. This is the 75-gallon, now the Beanie Cichlid aquarium. Hopefully I'm able to get a pair out of this aquarium, but this is one that me and Will both feel like we're going to enjoy. Hopefully we get to breed them and share this cichlid with those of you who are out there looking for it. It's super rare. You don't see this fish very often. So I was glad that we were finally able to find these guys and look forward to watching them grow. They are absolutely beautiful when they get to maturity. Then over here, the other reason that we were down in the fish room today is, like I said, she had completely torn up the aquarium. And it was funny because Will was able to capture some of this on video, but as soon as we re-scaped and got water in the tank, these two started locking lips, and they've been demonstrating a little bit of breeding behavior. So keep our fingers crossed. Maybe we'll have some red terrors here in the near future. The last time I said that, we did get a batch of fry from the red tiger motor, so we keep a close eye on those guys, and hopefully we'll get some fry here soon. Next to that is my 210-gallon peacock and hap aquarium. This aquarium, as Will stated before, this aquarium is one of both mine and his favorites. It's our first it is my first large aquarium, and it's one that, at night when I want to come down and just get lost in an aquarium with all the activity and color in this one, this is one of my favorites by far. And then to my right he's being a little bashful now. Let's see if he'll come out. Hey, you. Hey. Hey, you, what you want to do? But yeah, this is a 125 gallon Black Nasty aquarium. This guy's about 2.5 years old. And as you can see, man, this is by far my favorite fish. Like, it's just so much fun. I mean, he comes right up to the top of the tank when it's time to feed. Normally he will interact, like when I was taking the piece of driftwood out and kind of resituating those rocks, he was ready to fight. So just one of those fish that like I enjoy having. And I know Will is working on putting together his wet pet, and he's got work at his house. Back here in quarantine corner, I still have my pike cichlid. He's growing out nice. He's just extremely aggressive, and I have not had any luck putting him in the aquarium in any one of my community tanks in the house. So Will and I have got some plans. We might try and put him in another community of more aggressive cichlids to see if that works out, because I can't seem to bring myself to get rid of this dude, man. He's a beautiful fish. He's fun to watch. Just hope I can get him in there with some others that he plays a little nicer with. Over here, this is 10 red tiger moto babies, and they're all gonna be hiding right now. They're all super small, but this is an aquarium that we're just gonna grow these guys out, hopefully keep a breeding pair out of here, or just a couple females that we'll put in with G Money again, and see if we can't continue to get this breeding cycle, keep that breeding cycle going. This 40-gallon breeder is it's one where it's got a Central American cichlid in here. It's got the mini dovi, or the gramotes, in here, and this fish is just extremely bashful. He's always down here in this little ship, or he's at the top of the tank hiding out. But when it's time to feed, he comes right up to the front, and I'll see if we can't get y'all some B-roll footage to check that guy out. Again, another beautiful fish that Will and I are just trying to grow to maturity, study its behavior, hopefully maybe get it in a community tank and see where it goes from there. All right, the last aquarium down here, also one of my favorites. This is my Central American aquarium outside of that Wild Colombian Oscar, who I've tried to put into that 210-gallon South American tank. Wasn't lucky enough, or wasn't successful in getting him in there, but he does well in this aquarium as the tank boss. Got good activity in here. The lights just came on, so everybody's acting funny, but beautiful fish in this aquarium. But this is another one that we might be making some changes to, depending on what is going on over at Will's and what fish he wants to add to the 150 when we get that all figured out. All right, and then moving upstairs. We'll start over in this corner right here. This is still one of my favorite corners in the house. Still got my the flower horn that we brought over from Will's, and this dude is just he's a lot of fun to watch. You can see his interaction, like he's ready to go at all times. My daughter's ex-boyfriend found that out the hard way, stuck his finger in here, and this joker drew blood. So a lot of fun to watch, just a fun fish to own. This one to its left, with not a lot of activity in there right now. I will get some B-roll footage, but this is absolutely one of my favorite aquariums. It's got 3 5-star generals and 3 jewel cichlids. And I mean, at nighttime, prior to eating, during the day, these fish are normally out and about. They've got some good size, they're growing well, some good color, and they're just not easy to find. So it's a fun aquarium to own. It's a fun aquarium to watch. And hopefully I get some breeding here in the near future. And then the last aquarium down here, we were gonna do a 125-gallon Lake Victorian tank, but after Will and I talked about having 2 African cichlid tanks between our 2 houses, and we both enjoy the hobby so much, and we enjoy creating content and doing things of that nature, that we're always looking for ways to create some room in any of our aquariums, do something a little different. So we decided in this 125, we're gonna attempt to get some peacocks of great size and color, and then I'm gonna build this structure a little bit more with some more lace rock, try and get some Mbuna cichlid down here in the bottom. So see if we can't get a mixed Mbuna and peacock tank and see how that works out.
Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And until next time, be safe.